Okay, good morning, everybody. We will start in 1 minute. So Tom asked us to delay a bit, so we allow people to arrive. Okay. Salamat pagi, buenos días, bonjour, good morning, good evening to you all, wherever you are joining us from. A very warm welcome to each of you to the National Forest Inventory Network of Networks side event. I'm Rocio Condor, Forestry Officer from FAO's Forestry Division, working on the implementation of this global CBIT forest project. I'm honored to be your moderator for today's side event session, and let's start. Please, next one. Thank you for that. Next one. So this session aims to demonstrate the vital role of national forest inventory networks in strengthening forest information systems by improving consistency, transparency, and comparability of forest data. These networks support evidence-based decision-making at national, regional, and global levels. We will also showcase the benefits of regional collaboration, emphasizing how NFI networks facilitate knowledge exchange, promote the harmonization of data and methodologies, and create synergies in capacity development across countries. Finally, we would like to encourage broader engagement from the forest monitoring community. As you know, active participation in these networks can enhance collective learning, fosters innovation, and ensures that forest information continues to meet the evolving needs of policymakers, practitioners, and stakeholders. Next one. To guide us through today's side event, we have an agenda that reflects the global scope and collaborative spirit of national forest inventory networks. We will begin with a brief introduction to set the stage. Next, we'll hear from Armando Alaniz, who will present the work of the Latin American and the Caribbean NFI network, highlighting regional efforts and achievements. Following that, Isiar Alberdi will share insights from the European NFI network, focusing on harmonization and knowledge exchange across Europe. We'll then open the floor for a question and answer session, giving you the opportunity to engage directly with our first two presenters. After, we have Armando Alaniz, who will return to present on the North American Forestry Commission Working Group, offering a perspective on forest inventory collaboration in North America. We'll then move to the Asia-Pacific region, where Marco Piazza will present the work of the Asia-Pacific NFI network, emphasizing capacity development and regional synergies. This will be followed by a panel question and answer session where all our presenters will come together to answer your questions. Finally, we'll conclude with Anssi Pekkarin, who will provide concluding remarks. National forest inventories are fundamental for producing reliable forest data at both national and subnational levels. As global reporting requirements become more demanding, regional NFI networks have proven to be valuable platforms for collaboration And this brief introduction will outline 4 ways in which these networks support forest monitoring efforts. Next one. These initiatives strengthen national forest inventories by developing a skilled workforce through workshops, training, and technical exchanges. This fosters the sharing of expertise across countries and regions. Knowledge sharing enhances collaboration, enabling countries to tackle common challenges, align methodologies, and improve inventory efficiency through harmonized definitions. Next one. Yes, please. Next one, yes. Another key benefits is the harmonization of data collection and reporting practices, which improves transparency and ensures the consistency, comparability, and reliability of forest data. Networking also promotes open sharing of forest data, methodologies, and outcomes. This enables peer review and collaboration and collaborative platforms for feedback, enhancing the credibility and usability of forest data. Next one, please. Today, we will learn more about the European National Forest Inventory and FIN, the North American Forestry Commission Working Group, and the Latin American Caribbean Forest Inventory Network, and the Asia Pacific one. Next one. For more information on FAO's forestry monitoring data platforms, visit our website. And if you want to learn more on how FAO is supporting forest data transparency and regional NFI networks, explore our website and also get this QR code. So let's start with this session. And I would like to pass the word to our next speaker, José Armando Alanís de la Rosa. He's manager of the National Forest Monitoring System at Mexico's National Forestry Commission, CONAFOR, and first chair of the Latin American and Caribbean National Forest Inventory Network. Armando will share valuable insights from this network. Armando, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. We can start with the presentation, please. Thank you. So, thank you, Rocio, again, for giving me the opportunity for presenting some things about the Latin America and Caribbean Network for Forest National Inventories. As she mentioned before, I had the honor to be the first chair of this network for the last 2 years. Now, our colleague Clarissa Fonseca from Brazil is the chair of this important network. And something important is that she will be hosting an event in the COP30 in Brazil next month. So the idea is that in that event, she will raise also the relevance of National Forest Inventories Network to produce a reliable and transparent information for decision making. So I would like to start then my presentation. The next one, please. So we learned in the presentation of the FRA 2025 results that the Latin America region is very important for the extent of their forest and because of the relevance of the amount of carbon that they store, and also because there are many people that depends on this forest. As you can see, the region is relevant because in total the region has 940 million hectares of forest that represents 23% of the world's total area, covering almost 47% of the land area of the region. And that's why having reliable information on the forest resources is important for making decisions in the region. It is relevant, and if some of you were in the presentation of the the Tropical Forest Forever facility, how the monitoring will be relevant for securing payments for standing forest in this area. So I think that makes more relevant the collaboration that the countries in the region could have in terms of forest monitoring. The next one, please. National forest inventories started in the region since the 1980s. Different countries have advanced in different times, but as we can see, almost every country in the region has at least one started with their national forest inventories. That is very relevant. That means that technical capacities are created in the region, and that relevant information can be obtained by monitoring the forest. So far, the needs of the region are more related with capacity building, with using remote sensing data to have more powerful tools for analyzing the data, and also to collaborate in harmonizing data for all the region. The next one, please. So what is the network of national forest inventories in Latin America? It's a voluntary association of people responsible for implementing national forest inventories in Latin America, and also with experts and collaborators. We have the collaboration, for example, of INEA, like ECR, that she has been working from the beginning. Also people from the University of Amazonas working with us, and other relevant institutions that provides capacity building opportunities and also technical advice to the network. So far, this network started as meetings of collaborators that were made in the past in different occasions, and there the people understood that we need to have a more official way to collaborate among each other. So as you can see, since 2012, when the first meeting of people responsible for national forest inventories was gathered, so we have been working with in this group until we decided to create a more official association. The next one, please. So in 2022, we decided to officially establish the National Forest Inventories Network. We gathered in Panama at that time. So far, we have 17 countries officially joined the network, and also 6 countries more that are collaborating in a non-official way. But certainly, all their points of view are very relevant for promoting exchange and collaboration. The next one, please. In general terms, the activities that we carry out are related with capacity building, enhancing the use of forest data, enhancing also transparency of the forest data, and supporting other countries to monitor their NFI strategies, also in promoting the participation of local communities in different activities related with forest monitoring. But most of all, we provide and encourage technical exchange among the countries in the region in different ways, bilaterally, in a regional way, sub-regional way. I mean, it depends very much on what are the capabilities of each country, and also what are the interests of each country. It depends very much on that. But we are trying to exploit the strengths of each country to provide some technical exchange and some capacity building opportunities. The next one, please. One of the most relevant products that we have so far is this book that we published 2 years ago, I think, if I remember. That is a book that describes all the national forest inventories in the region. It has very detailed information about things like sampling design, forest indicators, measuring methods, data analysis, the kind of information that every national forest inventory has. And it has been, this book is also has been very relevant as a source of information for other countries wishing to start or to improve their national forest inventories. So I encourage you to take a look at this book. It is available in Spanish and English also. And then you can learn about the national forest inventory in each of our countries. You will find that this is very useful information that you can take a look to improve or to look at ways for collaboration with this our network. The next one, please. Recently, we have been working in harmonizing the key forest indicators. So the idea is to produce, at the extent possible, information about some relevant indicators, particularly area, volume, and biomass. Being these indicators are of the most relevance for purpose of making decisions in the area, in trying to work under the definitions adopted in the FRA process. So this has been a very interesting exchange of information because it's a way and we can learn how different countries make the measurements of some indicators, how they analyze the data, and then trying to understand how we can make this information comparable for all the region. And in this way, we can provide, as I said, at the extent possible, information about these three key indicators in the region. So far, this process has been conducted with the guidance of FAO. FAO is working as the secretariat, the technical secretariat of the network, and so they provide a lot of support in producing all the how can I say the minutes for or minutes for our meetings, but also to systematize all the information that we have produced that we are producing in these exchanges of information. FAO and institutions like INEA and the University of Amazonas and others are really relevant in providing capacity building opportunities and also to advise the work of the network. The next one, please. Recently, we gathered in Antigua, Guatemala in July this year to continue with the work on the harmonization in the region, but also to start with the capacity building related with new ways to collect data, particularly using non-destructive tools such as terrestrial LiDAR and forest stereo for producing information related with volume equations or allometric equations. And in this way, the network is providing capacity building and trying to strengthen their technical capabilities to produce high quality and comparable data and harmonized indicators. In this way, we are working in a common objective to provide information in a harmonized way for all the region. The next one, please. As a result of this meeting, the network had this, or the meeting has these key messages: that high quality, accessible, and transparent forest data is critical for sustainable forest management and achieving international goals like the SDGs and FRA, and also that national forest inventories are essential tools for this purpose. That we learned also that FAO supporting countries in developing and implementing robust NFIs is very relevant, and many Latin American and Caribbean countries are advancing the forest monitoring with growing demand for regional collaboration and knowledge sharing. Finally, that this regional network offers valuable platforms to harmonize methodologies, build technical capacity, foster collaboration, and thereby improving the comparability, transparency, and quality of forest data across countries. And to end my presentation, I kindly encourage all of you to support the work of National Forest Inventories Networks. I think it's a really good way to promote the technical exchange, but also to enhance our capabilities for providing more reliable and transparent information in the forest sector. So, and with this, I invite you to look at the webpage that we have in Spanish and English that is kindly hosted by FAO under the CB Forest Program. And with that, I would like to thank FAO for their support in the organization of this network, and also institutions like INEA and the University of Federal of Amazonas for all the support provided to this network. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Armando, for a compelling presentation that highlighted how this network connects actually forest inventory experts in the region and how this is helping to improve the regional forest data. We are happy to have ICR with us, ICR Alberdi. She is senior researcher in the Institute of Forest Research from the Spanish National Research Council and president of the European NFI network. She will tell us more about this network, and I would pass the word to you, ICR. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you very much. So thank you very much once more to FAO to organize this, I would say, excellent event in such a nice place, and really to accept to have this side event as we really think this is really important for the enhance of forest information data. So. To be honest, I never thought I was going to be a talk dressed like that. But this also this also reflects our diversity, our different context in our different countries, but how important is that we work together. So we don't have to think, of course, we are all the same. But if we work together, we really enhance all the work at global scale. So next, please. In this presentation, I would like to show how it is now the governance of NFI, which is getting a bit more complicated. How are the status, very briefly, of course, of the national forest inventories in Europe? Some examples of the harmonization and the concept, why we chose harmonization versus standardization, and what are we working now and our next steps. So you will be really updated. Next, please. So national forest inventory have a long tradition in the northern countries. In Europe, they started in around 1920, and as I think I presented yesterday, we all started with all these objectives on the boot information and on the area, but nowadays they all have multi-source and multi-objective monitoring systems, so they are capable to inform in a really different policies of Europe, but also, of course, they need to inform at the national level. The National Forest Inventories in Europe was established in 2003 to improve this harmonization and this comparability that is needed of the forest information. And a couple of years ago, 2 years ago, in 2023, there were new elections of the network where I was elected, but also we building on this network, considering the context and the policies that are now being developed in Europe, we construct on this network, and we decided that it was needed to have a formal role, because this network that I'm chairing is somehow built, even if we have worked for many years, it's built on a voluntary basis, and for some things and for the governance, we needed something more formal. So up to now, it is formed this network, which is led by Finland, by Luke, from 18 members, and they are registered under the French law. So the French National Forest Inventory, the IGN, has now the secretariat. But at the end, the network is working for the association and vice versa, so it's the same somehow. Next, please. So one of the, I would say, most relevant things of this network is the expertise. This network is formed by 34 institutions from 31 European countries. There are some, well, few, but European countries that have not only one, but maybe two NFIs. And of course, it's important to mention that it involves experts from many fields, from experts from remote sensing, mathematicians, or of course, forestry persons. And for that, we are participating in several European and transnational projects. So we are obtaining funds, because I think it's fair to say that to advance, funds are needed. And we have more than 50 publications. I would like to, they are too small there, but I would like to highlight 4 Springer books, in case you don't know them. One is on, or 2 of them are really on the description of the NFIs. One is on biodiversity, and the other on different modeling and scenarios. Next, please. So this is just an image of how the NFIs were established in Europe. As you can see, well, very at the beginning, the northern countries were established close to the 20s, and then few countries established their NFIs on the 60s, like France, Austria, Spain, Greece, or Portugal. But the most of them were established around the 80s. And some of them, I have to say, that have been recently established. What I would like to show with this is that mostly all countries now have a statistical national forest inventory based on sample plots. Although, of course, then remote sensing is used. Next, please. So, as you all know, there are many challenges. So, to have comparable information from the national forest inventories, as they started, as you saw, in different periods and with different objectives, they have different temporal designs, definitions, and even reporting systems. So we had to choose when we established the network between this harmonization, which means an uniform application of the definitions, and sometimes I would say we need to have the same field protocols, or harmonization which allows to modify or to converge the local data, the national systems, to a common reference definition. Of course, the higher comparability, you would get it with the standardization, but it's so important to keep the historical and temporal data for the countries that harmonization here was the way chosen, and this really fulfills the need to satisfy the national and sometimes lower necessities to the international needs, information needs. So it is really important to put all the efforts to have good bridges to transform from the national to the European or global scale. Next, please. In the next slides, I would like to show you some examples on how we are working on these harmonization efforts with some examples. And some of them are quite recent, so I hope to describe them in a proper way. This one is the estimation of the volume and biomass increment. This study was led by Thomas Swander from Austria. And here, as you know, in Europe, all the countries are using permanent plots or a combination of permanent and temporal plots. So, and even more, most of us use concentric design plots. That means that the selection of the trees depends on the diameters of the trees. So to estimate the increments have some challenges, because there will be some trees that are survivals, some trees that will be incorporated, and some trees that will be cut or died. And each country has different ways to consider them and where to include this increment of the cutting on the harvest trees. As an example of the difference, you have here in the table the different components that are considered by each country on this survivor, in-growth, on-growth, non-growth, cut, and mortality trees. And what we did is by iterative process to get an agreement of what would be operational and could consider all the countries to really be able to have comparable estimates. You can see in the graph, in that table, how are the difference if we have an harmonized definition. Some countries shown that they have less increment if they use these agreed reference definitions, while others have more. You can see, for instance, the case of Romania having less than 25% more in the national. So it is really important to have comparable results to use this reference definition. Next, please. The next one, I think it's a very good improvement. This has done under the umbrella of different projects supported by the European Commission, by the GRC, with a contract we have with them. First, this tool was called eForest, and then it was evolving. And after, with different Horizon projects supported by the European Commission, Diabolo, Pathfinder, and Money Fund. So this has been really a long-term work on this. It's not only a platform, but a methodological framework called NFIESTA. That means New Forest Inventory Estimation and Analysis Framework. And this was developed mostly or led by our colleagues from the Czech Republic. It was called before UHUL, and now is the Forest Institute. And it implements the best national forest inventory practices of producing forest-related information. So in what you can see in the slide is the different maybe designs from different countries. One could be this S3 with clusters. One could be with single plots, but different grids. And we really need estimators to be able to have all the estimates in a proper way in the different domains or different areas that are cross borders. This platform can work irrespective of country border, but it really needs to have the National Forest Inventory data as input and have the harmonized data, of course. And the other important aspect is that we really need to describe our methodologies to have a good estimation. So, finally, it has, but not necessarily, it can incorporate maps to improve the accuracy, but it does not produce map somehow. No? Next, please. This second example is on mapping, because I had one on the estimation, and I would like to show this other example that was led by Jukka Metinen and Johannes Breidenbach from VTT Finland and from Nibio, Norway, under the umbrella of Pathfinder project, also funded by the European Commission. And you can see how the different remote sensing information was combined with all these plots that you can see in the table for different variables. For instance, I included here DBH or the gross annual increment and net annual increment. For the different variables, we have a different number of plots, but if I put an example, you can see here that from the DBH, we have more than 90,000 plots to be combined with the remote sensing, while for the increment, we have up to 45,000 plots. Because we really consider here a strict range of years. So we consider the spatial and but very important also the time frame. Next, please. So as a result, there are European-wide maps that can be visualized and downloaded. I think last month was launched this platform, so I'm happy to share it with you also, where you can download these maps. They are 10 by 10 meters resolution, and now I think there is only maybe 10 that can be downloaded, but some more will be produced soon, including, for instance, we are trying to do also maps with the dominant species. Next, please. So my last slide, and I would say the most important one, is on what we are really working on and which are our ongoing activities. The first one is this work that I introduced at the beginning. We are really working on the governance, how we should proceed. We are reviewing all our strategy and the activities, and in that sense, I think it is really useful, and this is also a call for all of you if you are interested, and also for other networks. We are doing regular webinars on specific topics for the interest on national forest inventories. One, just to give an example that all national forest inventories show the interest, is how to answer to the new law requirements, how to do it from the beginning in a comparable way. We have, for instance, a new law on the restoration, and we have to report on different estimation, and to set up common methodologies from the beginning is really a save of time. The next point is the collaboration. We really want to foster collaboration within partners, but also with other institutions, and for instance, with other networks. We have been, as Armando said, collaborating in Guatemala, NFI and IFNLAC. Also, we had our colleagues from Asia and FAO, so we really think that working at global scale is really important with this frame of climate change that I think we all recognize here. Of course, the continuation of the harmonization process is so relevant to produce comparable and robust information. And in this sense, we are working both on harmonized estimates, based, of course, also with the combination of remote sensing, but also on the mapping products. So, with this, I would like to thank you all. Next, please, to hear our insights from NFI. Thank you.
Thank you, ECR, for sharing how NFI promotes national forest inventories, harmonized forest data, and of course supports forest policy decisions. So We are now into the QA session, and I would like to know if there is any questions for the first two speakers. Please raise your hand. Don't be shy. Okay, one first question. Please introduce yourself and let's move ahead. Thanks.
Bonjour à tous. Je vais m'exprimer en français. Je ne sais pas s'il faut laisser le temps aux gens d'avoir les kits.
Sorry, please can you wait? We need the translation with us. Please can you... Okay, I will ask you in 1 second to repeat your question, please, so we can... Okay. Yes, please, can you repeat your question?
Ok, merci beaucoup. Je suis Monsieur Armand Brice Nzatini Eko. Je reviens de la République du Congo, un pays de l'Afrique centrale. Je suis le chef de service inventaire et aménagement des forêts. En mon qualité, je suis aussi le superviseur technique de l'inventaire forestier national qu'on a réalisé au pays, au Congo, en 2005. Je tiens à remercier les organisateurs et surtout, je tiens aussi à remercier les deux présentateurs. Ma préoccupation, c'est sur les réseaux. À ma connaissance, il n'y a pas un système de réseau en Afrique. Dans ce que vous venez de présenter, ma préoccupation reste plus sur la méthodologie utilisée. Au niveau du Congo, lorsqu'on a réalisé les inventaires, on avait 455 échantillons répartis dans tout le pays. Malheureusement, nous avons pu réaliser que 376 parce que dans la cuvette congolaise, il y avait des zones inondées et inondables. Et qu'avec la méthodologie de la FAO, on n'a pas pu réaliser ces zones. Je voulais savoir par l'expérience de la connectivité, c'est qu'il y a eu des complémentarités, il y a eu des compléments d'information d'un pays à un autre. Je souhaite savoir quelles étaient les solutions apportées dans les zones d'accès difficiles. Merci pour votre attention.
Thank you very much. And I think I can get back to you. It's true, there is not a network, a formalized network as Latin America and in Europe, but there are working groups FAO through the FRA team, and we have Ansi and also Xavi Delamo here with us, are working with COMIFAC. So there are still spaces where all these, I would say, forest data improvements can be taken. I would encourage you to contact Ansi, Pekarin, and also Xavi. We have a colleague of us, Amber Tom, who is taking care of all the Central Africa work through the FRA team. So I think the possibility is still open, even an NFI network is not in place yet. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, yes, and COMIFAC is part also of this collaborative forest resources questionnaires. So I think there are other instances in which, you know, the region, the sub-region, the country you belong to are able to benefit from. So yeah, please get in contact with my colleagues from the FRA team so you can get more information. Thank you very much for your question. I would like to know if there is, yes, please, ECR, then we'd like to get back to you as well. ECR.
No, just to complement something. First of all, enchanté. It's a pleasure to know some colleagues from other countries and continents. And same as with Latin America, I think all this relationship between networks is also really enrichment for all of us. All the countries have their own expertise and know their content, so it's really important to work together. So same as with other networks, I would like to offer you the support from MFIN apart and also additionally to what FAO is offering. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ECR. I don't know, we have maybe time for one more question. We will have also at the end, if there is any other question. Okay. Okay, then we will have another session of QA. There is a question? Yes? Okay. Please introduce yourself.
Okay, thank you. My name is Hatim from Sudan. My question is directly to second presenters on the 10-meter map. So I saw the design of sampling like following sentinel grid or something, because I don't understand how you create the design for sampling.
I think you were referring to this map that I show, no?
Yes,
or from
yes.
MFIN.
There is a grid beside the map.
Yeah.
I want to understand it. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I'm not the author, so I will, if you write to me, I can put you in contact with the main one, but I can tell you how it was produced. I have been also collaborating, although I'm not the main expert in this. The way we had working is that we really think that the best combination, or the best way to work is the combination of the ground truth with the satellite data. So we combined, we compile in this Enfiesta the data at plot level in a way that we use all the same reference definition, so it's comparable at plot level, and then we combine it with with satellite data. And for that, we use the same algorithm, and because you know that sometimes it's not so easy considering the data policy to share the plot coordinates, the exact plot coordinates, because somehow they grade it and there is no problem. So each country had or used this algorithm to extract themselves the metrics that are needs from the maps from this common algorithm, and then we construct these maps. But of course, we can, if you want, I can give you more details and put you in contact with the main authors.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, ECR, for getting back to us with this question. So now let's pass to the next pair of presentations. I would like to ask Armando, who will show and share with us also valuable insights from the North American Forest Commission Working Group. So I would pass the words to Armando. Please, Armando.
Okay. Thank you again, Rocio, and thank you very much again for giving me this opportunity of talking about other network that is smaller than the Latin American network, and it is not an official network per se, but it's a collaborative group of people from the United States, Mexico, and Canada working together in matters related with the national forest inventories. And I would like to start this presentation. Yes, saying that if you can go to the next, please. That this other network that we have is is part of the North American Forestry Commission. As some of you may know, the Committee on Forestry of FAO has 6 regional commissions. These commissions works in terms related more with advising FAO on the matters related with the work of FAO. They provide guidance, they provide their views on the key issues that FAO should be working on, and also in prioritizing these efforts. In that way, for example, the different regional committees support the work or guide the work of FAO, for example, in producing the FRA, or also to work on matters related with wildfires or others relevant to the organization in general and for the members of this organization. So this is a way that that this regional commission work. And as I mentioned, the North American Forestry Commission is one of these 6 regional commissions in the world. So in the case of this commission, it was established in 1958 with only 3 countries: Canada, United States, and Mexico. And this commission meets every 2 years, and the chairmanship of the commission is rotational. I mean, every country has a mandate for chairing this commission for 2 years. Recently, we had the last meeting of the commission, and Mexico now holds the chair of this commission for the next 2 years. And then the next one, please. If we look at the structure of this commission, we have the commissioners that are the heads of the agencies of each country, and we have a bureau of alternates that is usually the people that provides following up to all the decisions that commissioners adopt in every meeting. And this bureau of alternates, they oversight the work of the different groups. So as you can see, the commission has the 6 different working groups that are integrated by people from each one of the institutions, from the U.S. Forest Service, the Canadian Forest Service, and the National Forestry Commission in the case of CONAFOR. And so we have these 6 working groups, one of them being the Inventory and Monitoring and Assessment Working Group, that it works as a regional network for national forest inventories. We also have another group related with matters with silviculture, with genetic resources, with wildfire management, pests and diseases, and more recently was created one that is dealing with matters related with climate, atmospheric change, and forest. So I had a chance to work with the Inventory Monitoring and Assessment Working Group. The next one, please. This working group was established in 2000 with the aim of reaching a common understanding of forest inventory processes in each country through collaboration and technical information exchange regarding objectives, approaches, and methods for collecting and analyzing forest data. We base our work in a continuous exchange of activities for supporting each other in terms of understanding how we collect data and analyze forest data. And then the work of this group is also creating a common ground for report in the region. So, sorry, I'm having a problem here with my presentation. So, okay, that's it. The objectives that we have is to define and leverage opportunities to increase scientific and technical collaboration, also to promote compatible approaches regarding inventories and monitoring activities, assess the use of remote sensing and other technologies to improve effectiveness and efficiency of inventories, sponsor and facilitate exchange to build capacity and enhance knowledge of different approaches to inventory monitoring and assessment, advise on the current status of inventory and monitoring programs in each country, and also to foster communication with other working groups on the North American Forestry Commission to use the data from the National Forest inventories. And the next one, please. What are the main activities that we are implementing in this group? Basically, we participate in FRA, integrating the FRA national reports, but also to work in the workshops. The region has been very active in providing their points of view and guidance to FRA team in different matters related with the definitions and approaches for integrating information, particularly United States and Canada has been very, very active on this, and we as Mexico are working with them also on that. Also, we are working on the development of harmonization of methodologies. For example, we produce a North American forest database, but also we implement a pilot on how to assess primary forests in Mexico, trying to test a new methodology to assess or estimate primary forests in Mexico based on FRA definition. And also, as group, as a region, we are working in the different activities related with adopting a definition of forest degradation within the FRA framework with the aim of providing report clarity and consistency for this indicator. As I mentioned, also we are working on data integration and capacity development in the region, and also we are working on collaborating and networking with other working groups. For example, we provide information of our national forest inventories to other groups, particularly, for example, in the case of climate, atmospheric change, and forest, and also to the genetic resources forest, and they produce information based on the national forest inventories of our countries to continue with their work. And sometimes the group can provide technical and financial support for implementing some activities. Thanks to that, Mexico could implement this pilot for identifying and assess primary forest of Mexico based on this methodology that we as a group developed. The next one, please. One of the most relevant work that we have in terms of collaboration related with the information from data from the National Forest Inventories is the North American Forest Database. That was an effort to harmonize information of National Forest Inventories from the 3 countries. And we have a paper produced on that. You can take a look at this map, at this paper, and you will have a good sense of the challenges and the good things that we have from working together in producing this North American Forest Database. One of the key products is that we have a website when you can take a look at this information. The next one, please. And in this website, you can do some reports. The previous one, please. That's one. We present this information, and you can make customized reports about these 3 indicators: area of forest, volume, and above ground biomass. And by selecting the different regions in the map, this was an effort to harmonize even the ecological regions, trying to accommodate information for those regions. Then you can make these reports by clicking in each region, or also produce graphic reports about that. The next one, please. We also produce this story map based on the information that we have in harmonizing these three indicators, and based on the work that we have in this database. So this is a way to present the information in a more attractive way for the people, trying to explain the importance of collecting and sharing data. And with that, I will finish the presentation. I will say that despite that being only a group of 3 countries, we have been very active in working together with FAO in terms of FRA, and also in providing technical exchange to other countries. As a group, we are very interested in supporting the efforts of other regions, and particularly through Mexico. We are providing support to the Latin America National Forest Inventory Network. So one other thing that is very relevant is that this group has meetings every 2 years, and we collaborate with other working groups in trying to work on the needs of information that these groups can have related with forest resources, and trying to provide this information for making a different kind of analysis. So here in this, the next one, please. You will find the information that is available. You can click on these links, and you will have information related with the North American Forest Commission, the North American Forest Database, and the interactive map that I showed before. So thank you very much again, and I encourage you also to reach out with FAO and with us if you need more information about these collaborative efforts. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Armando, for a comprehensive picture on how the North American Forestry Commission Inventory, Monitoring, and Assessment Working Group fosters collaboration to harmonize forest inventory data, enhance monitoring methodologies, of course, and support transborder forest assessments. We have now our final speakers. Marco Piazza, he is Forestry Officer with the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations at the Regional Office for Asia and the Pacific, RAP, in Thailand. He will tell us more about the Asia Pacific Network. Marco, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Rocio. I trust you can hear me well.
No, we cannot hear you, so hope we can improve the sound.
Check.
Please, can you improve the sound? Okay.
How is it now?
Yes.
Good. Okay. All right, I'll start. Thank you, Rocio. Good morning, everyone, dear colleagues. So 2 days ago, we celebrated the launch of the latest FRA report. We saw some positive and promising results, and it was also exciting, I think, to see that more and more countries are able to report timely and accurate data on the status of their forest, right? I think, of course, a significant contribution to the success of the FRA process comes from the fact that an increasing number of countries have a institutionalized NFI, which remains the key instrument for obtaining forest data based on ground evidence. So it's also for this reason that I'm very glad to be here representing the Asia Pacific NFI network. And I think we should also recognize the fact that the exponential growth of in forest monitoring and in the knowledge in designing and implementing NFI comes from really a collaborative effort from many entities. I think we saw wonderful examples from the previous speakers in Europe and Latin America. And this is exactly what a network of NFI should be or is committed to do, which is to just promote and facilitate the exchange of knowledge among NFI practitioners. Next slide, please. So compared to other regions, as you will see, the network in Asia Pacific has a much more recent history. But working on NFI in this region, we realized that many countries are advancing in the national forest monitoring systems, including the NFI, but there is a recognized need for a stronger regional collaboration. We have heard it from various sources, and there is a desire to share knowledge, and so this is really the rationale for the network. In terms of timeline, we started to conceptualize the NFI network in 2024, last year. At the same time, we were promoting regionally a number of online courses, many of them produced by FAO, forest monitoring teams and other teams, on various aspects of forest monitoring. This was an initial way to share knowledge and to promote exchange and start to build a community. Then in March of this year, we had the first in-person meeting of the network, a bit of a launch of this network, mainly as a knowledge exchange on national forest inventory. We had 12 countries with us, but I will come back in the next slide. And so since then, since March, we remain active. We published a meeting report. We set up a web space to host our information. We started a webinar series with content from the country and for the countries on topics that we also discussed when we were together as set as a priority topics of interest. We are planning now a scientific study, again, as a collaborative effort to dig a bit deeper into data and methodology. Of course, you have just heard the presentations before, so we are really starting to enter that world, as it was explained by my colleagues before. We participated in global events such as this, and we also produced a digital report to capture the status of NFIs in Asia Pacific region, and I will also come back to this on the next slide. So who is part of the Asia Pacific network? Next slide, please. Here it is. It's a wonderful group of people from 12 countries. Some of you actually in the room will recognize yourself in this photo. And with most of these people, we were also collaborating. We had been collaborating before, so meeting in person was really a glue, was really a catalyst for bringing together and discuss and learn from each other on NFI. Let me also add that we started with these 12 countries because we had an initial collaboration and an already established relationship. But of course, we are open to everyone to join other countries, and not just the government, but also research institutions, academia. I think we are just starting, and the door is very, very open. Next slide, please. I mentioned that the first in-person meeting that we had in March of this year, we called it Forest Data Without Borders, Knowledge Exchange on National Forest Inventory in the Asia Pacific. So the objective of this in-person meeting, it's quite straightforward, was really to start facilitating a dialogue, having bringing people together to exchange and sharing information. And we did that in a variety of ways. We had a poster sessions in which each country was able to talk about their experience and the status and the characteristics of their NFI. We had technical sessions with experts, again, from other institutions, from FAO and from the countries on selected topics. We also did a pre-meeting survey we distributed to the participating countries, and it was a rather detailed survey. So through that, we have a much better picture of the characteristics of each NFI. And again, this builds up the body of knowledge that we're working with. Can go to the next one, please. So with all of this, which is only a few months of history, but I think we already collected and exchanged quite a bit of information. So with this knowledge and contribution from the countries, I'm actually happy to announce or to share with you that today we are launching this digital report that I mentioned before. It's available online through this QR that you see on the slide. And let's say, of course, in the presentation from Armando, you saw the book that was produced there. That's the goal, let's say, right? But we are starting in this way with a bit of interactive digital report, as we call it, which is a compilation really of the NFIs that are conducted in Asia Pacific. There are country profiles. There are some initial summary statistics. There are interviews, voices, as we call them, to hear the voice of those really leading the work on the ground, and also links to other documentation and information sources. So please have a look. And yeah, I think you can go to my next slide, which is the last slide. It was a bit of a short presentation, reflecting the short life of this network, but we are really looking forward to expand on this. I will stop here. Thank you very much for your attention. I really look forward to connect with everyone interested in this work, as well with the other networks in the region from which we have a lot to learn. So thank you very much. Terima kasih.
Thank you very much, Marco, for connecting and for sharing with us how this region is also moving ahead to strengthen forest monitoring. There is some time for questions to the speakers, and please raise your hand, introduce yourself. Don't be shy. I will maybe then ask Marco, are you still there? Yes, we have two questions. Okay, yes, please stay with us. So we have one first question, please. The microphone, there are one, the second question at the back.
Hello, thank you, Marco. This is Afrasya from Pakistan. Thank you very much for the excellent presentation. I'm actually wanted to have some guidance on how the new countries can be a part of this network. Thank you.
Yeah, hello, Afrasiab. Good to see you there. Yeah, I think probably from the presentation you understand that this is still a bit of an informal process, which also gives a lot of flexibility to join and to participate. We have not reached the level of formality like we saw in Latin America. We may end up there. Also, one thing that I wanted to mention is the fact that as FAO, we are facilitating this process, but really, as we saw in other networks, it is really the countries who should drive this process. But in any case, we are willing to accompany this journey by creating a number of opportunities to share knowledge. In a specific case of yourself, of your country, feel free to reach out to me directly. You have my address, I know. We are in touch. So yeah, feel free, and we can absolutely add you to the list of a distribution list of emails that we have to the webinars. And this is exactly my one goal. So already now we are 13 countries and not 12. So very good. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Actually, we have some progress in Pakistan as well, developed our National Forest Monitoring System, NFI, SLMS, and GHG inventory systems, methodologies, national standards for Pakistan. It was all published and approved in 2022. So looking forward. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much then for that exchange question. Now we have a second question. Somebody at the back, raise a hand, please, if we can get the microphone. Thanks. Please introduce yourself and
Yes, thank you all for the presentations. I actually have a similar question as my friend from Pakistan. I am from Suriname, and I would also like to know how to be part of the network. In the case of Suriname, currently we are working with Jamaica, Costa Rica, Panama, and Trinidad on a harmonized allometric equation in the mangrove using TLS data. So it would be a pleasure to share experience and exchange knowledge. Yes.
Yes, I will ask Armando because I hear Suriname
You-
to get back to you.
Yes,
Armando.
thank you for the question. I mean, and my understanding is we have been inviting Suriname to the network and is part of this the network. And just as you mentioned before, I mean, this work that you are doing in exchanging information about, for example, allometric equation and other information related with forest inventories is one of the key issues in the region. And as you mentioned, for example, in the case of Mexico, we have been sharing information with Guatemala, for example, on questions that we have in the southeast part of Mexico that could be relevant for them for implementing or analyzing data from the or field data that they have. So I very much would like to reach out with you and to see how you can be more active in the network, because certainly we are working on that and exchanging information. For example, as you mentioned, in allometric equation, not only for volume but also for biomass. We learned from our experience that some countries are using generic equations because that's what they have, and the idea is to produce a library of allometric equations that countries can use for estimate volume or biomass depending on their circumstances. And this information could be useful for improve the quality of the data or the indicators that are producing based on the field data that you are producing. So I would like very much to reach out with you later to talk about this and to make you connect with the people in the network. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Armando, also for that clarification. And I was just checking the website of the network, and I just realized that there is a list of members of the NFI LAC network, but there is also active members but are pending formal membership, but one of those is Suriname. So I think if Suriname is, it's already actually participating, but there is some formalization aspects needs, but still benefiting from all the work that we are doing with the network. Yeah. One more question. Yes, please go ahead, introduce yourself. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Alubari, and I am coming from the Gambia. Just what I want to say is about, I understand that many continents are having collaborative networks where they share their experience and support each other. But unfortunately for Africa, I don't think we have any such networks. My question is, I think directly to the moderator, how can FAO support Africa also so that we can have a similar networks, so that we can also start at least sharing our experiences and also help each other, so that like our national inventories can be easier for us rather than working independently.
Okay, thank you very much. I will start, but then I will give the microphone to Javier if you can pick it up. So thanks for that. Actually, there is a project that actually is ending. Next week, we will have the final meeting. It's a West African country, and Gambia is part of it. And I'm sure Javier will complement because there was a component that was helping on forest data. So Javier, if you can complement, please.
Yes, I know that you guys are now starting or about to start the NFI, if I'm correct, in Gambia. So I think it's also a good opportunity for the country to increase this collaborating efforts. Maybe within this West Africa project, that is finishing now, but there might be, there's a possibility that there might be a second phase. So maybe we can try to explore whether in this second phase there's a space for establishing at least an informal approach, like the one that Marco was mentioning for Asia Pacific, to start at least maybe for West Africa initially, but potentially, I don't know, potentially there might be potential to increase to other countries in the continent. But I think it's well noted. It is a good idea, so we might start exploring that from the FAO side. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Javier. And yeah, I would like to ensure also the participant from Gambia that all the lessons learned and the experience coming from the networks are being shared with the West African project. Therefore, a possible second phase would include considering the development and the facilitating an NFI network also in that region. So I think all these lessons learned are absolutely being channelized also through that project. So we cross fingers that it happens, and yeah, we will learn more next week with the closing, the final meeting of this project. Okay, so I'm happy to get another question before we go into the concluding remarks. Please don't be shy. Okay. No more questions, but if you still want to continue the conversation, please reach out to Armando, which has two hats, the North American Commission Working Group, the Latin American one, so that's nice. And please reach out ECR for any issues related with the European NFI network. And please, Marco Piazza is also available for any questions related to Asia Pacific. So with this, I think I will invite Anssi Pekarim, Senior Forestry Officer at FAO and lead of the Global Forest Resources Assessment, to share some concluded remarks with us. Yes, you took the long way. Thank you, Anssi.
Thank you. Thank you, Rocio. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, depending on where you are. And many thanks also to our panelists, ECR multi-hat Armando and Marco, for updating us on the work done and the status of your respective NFI networks. I think that we all know that when developing something new or improving what you already have in place, it is always easier to do that if you have an example to follow or consider, depending on the status of your own work. And to do that, you will all first need to know that what is going on elsewhere, and understand that who to contact if you need some additional information. And in such situations, the collaboration is, of course, everything. You need to build a network of expertise, and a network of trust, with a network with which you can share what you know, and network with which you can also receive the information from others. And especially in the context of developing something as complicated as a national forest monitoring system, which need to adapt first, of course, to the national needs, but then also meet the ever-changing international reporting needs and requirements. Learning from others and sharing experiences becomes just simply invaluable. And as we have heard from our panelists, this kind of collaboration can work informally, but often the formalization comes with certain benefits. And this has to do with the mobilizing of resources, producing joint publications and other products, and agreeing on joint statements, for example. And as we also have heard from our panelists, this sort of collaboration or its benefits are not limited to national processes, but they can also be invaluable in the regional and global context. And we have seen excellent regional examples of the products like the publication detailing the national forest inventories in the Latin America and the Caribbean. The example is here presented in the harmonization of national forest inventory data at the plot level and then using it to develop maps in Europe, and the work done by Mexico, United States and Canada to develop this North American forest database. All these are just excellent illustrations of the benefits of this work. Then, of course, from the FAO's Global Forest Resources Assessment point of view, this work done in the regional networks is simply invaluable as it facilitates harmonizing the data at the global level, as the regional networks can already address the issues of translating the data collected using national definitions to the definitions and classification used within the FRA process. And that, of course, in turn, improves the transparency of the data behind the process, and it facilitates synthesizing these data reported to FAO for products such as the Global Forest Resources Assessment. So, to conclude, I would like to say that FAO will continue to support the knowledge sharing among different regional NFI networks. And now, as we have heard some voices from Africa, yes, we will try to see that how we can also establish similar networks in Africa. We are already working with COMIFAC, as you heard, but it is recognized that we need to do a little bit more there. Then we will continue our support to the NFI networks across regions with the aim of building a global network of networks with the support of our resource partners, and also, and from the point of my personal or my role point of view, very importantly, continue the discussion on the best modality to formalize the participation of the network of networks in the advisory and consultative bodies of the Global Forest Resources Assessment. Thank you so much for the work done in the regions, and let's continue working together.
Thank you very much, Ansi, for sharing also how we will keep together working with the networks, supporting the networks. We've reached the end of today's session, and I would like to thank you all for attending, those who are here, but also those who are online. It was my pleasure to moderate this session, and please stay tuned and follow us. Thank you. Good morning.